Halo, selamat siang semuanya. So this video is going to be a review and commentary of Indonesia's 3-2 defeat to Saudi Arabia last night. I have a lot to say. I'm also going to give player ratings later on, so do stick around. However, I am warning you, I'm going to be extremely harsh in my ratings because yeah, it was pretty disappointing. So first, I think let's look at the stats. And I have the thing open here. This is from an app called FOTMob. And yeah, so as you can see, actually, of course, Saudi were at home, so it's expected that they will have more of the ball. I think like in the first half, at one point, they had like 71% of possession, but obviously that evens out usually over the game. It's very hard to sustain a high amount of possession for the entire 90 minutes. But that possession like a is not super important anyway. Total shots is a bit interesting because it's like 17 to 10. However, I don't really remember like any good shots that we had. We had like a couple. I'm sure it includes the penalties as well. But that's not, I don't know. I think that kind of skews the statistics a little bit. So that's not great. Big chances, it says 6 to 5, but I'm really surprised that for some reason we got five. I really wonder like what these five are. Because I remember like definitely Romani had one chance, and that's about it. And there were the two penalties. So I don't know like if they're included or not, but anyway. The accurate passes, 77. This is actually really close. So you can see like in some aspects we're not that far off from the teams higher up the ranking in the FIFA table. However, the game told a really different story. So let's jump into the review of the game. Let me make myself bigger once again. We don't need this anymore. Yeah. So I'm extremely disappointed on a number of different levels. I do understand that obviously we had a lot of injuries coming into the game. A lot of crucial injuries, I have to say. We were missing, Marcelino was not there. Romani was probably like 50% fit at best. Um, at least he did play though. But Verdonk was missing. I think that was a huge miss because I think he's honestly like the best player we have. I know he's a defender and everything. However, yeah, he just provides something that we don't have in the team. And also, obviously, just his technical ability is a bit higher than the rest of them. So, yeah, it's a shame that he picked up a injury very recently. We were also missing Audero. However, like I said in my previous videos, I think like Pass is a better keeper anyway. And yesterday, once again, he totally proved that, in my opinion. So let's talk about the game. I'll walk you through what happened, and then we'll jump into the player ratings. So yeah. Well, my first complaint is like the venue itself. So why, like, okay, this is like an important World Cup qualifying game. The next one is as well, but this one is one as well. So why on earth did Saudi Arabia get to host it? And well, Qatar also. Why why these two countries? Why not pick a neutral country? Doesn't that make more sense? I look, I'm it's not about like bias of the referees, but it's about the advantage of the venue. Obviously, if you're playing at home, which Saudi Arabia did, it's gonna make you play better usually. That's usually how it works anyway. So, I don't understand like why they didn't pick a neutral some two neutral countries and like so six teams go there, and it's very short. It lasts like a week or something. So it's not like you have to make plans for like a month, I really don't see the problem, and I think that's really unfair to pretty much everybody who is not Saudi Arabia and Qatar. That is just completely unfair, and I don't understand it. But look, this is like kind of FIFA games, Asian Federation. There's a lot of corruption in these federations, so like I am not surprised at all that they will kind of favor certain teams over others. Okay, I'm not saying, like, obviously I'm not like a detective, I don't have solid proof of that. However, it does seem extremely fishy, and that would be my first complaint. However, having said that, no matter where you play, whether it's Saudi or Qatar, or whether you have to fly to the moon, uh you have to show up and play. Like, there's no excuse if you don't show up. uh that's on you, at the end of the day. So I was extremely disappointed yesterday by the performance of the team. I thought it was well, the team selection was not great, but again, I know that obviously we had injuries, like I mentioned, etc. So it had to be adjusted a little bit. However, the players that were on the pitch really like didn't. Basically, a lot of them just didn't turn up. Completely dominated. I know that the score. Look, if you just look at this, if you haven't seen the game and you woke up today and you check the score, oh, 3-2. Oh, so it must have been really close, right? But in reality, it was anything but close. Saudi completely wiped the floor with us. If it was not for pace, we would have conceded, I don't know, 6, 7 goals, easy. Uh, that I mean, the defense was just so static at times. It was so easy to play through. It reminded me like watching the game against Japan, where they just do like these kind of 1-2, and boom, you have one attacker who is one on one against the keeper. How many times it happened yesterday? How many times? Many times. So yeah, let's I'll walk you through the game. So what happened, like, in the beginning? uh I think like Saudi maybe started a bit sloppily. They were definitely making a couple of mistakes. That's not to say that Indonesia didn't make mistakes, but yeah, they give away a kind of early penalty. Kevin Dix put it away, and you know, it seems that things are going okay. I mean, obviously, you're only 10 minutes in, so you still have 80 to play, but you get an early lead away. That's good. The penalty, I think, like, yeah, I think it was I mean, all the penalties were penalties, but I think like maybe the ones that Indonesia got were a little bit lucky, I would say. But hey, whatever. Like, you get what you can, so yeah. Unfortunately, though, after that, there is a passage of play. Saudi get the ball. uh there's a series of kind of pathetic like half clearances where, look, if you clear the ball, the point is that you have to clear the ball up the pitch, like as far ahead as you can, and not up in the air. And there's a couple of players, and maybe that even includes the keeper in that particular case, I'm not sure, but they all kind of like loop it into the air, which doesn't do a lot. Saudi get the ball back. There's like bad defending. They really let the attacker just kind of a free run to the attacker, and it was a good shot. I think like Pace could have done a good better. Could have done a bit better. It was a good shot. Uh, but I think like he gets caught off guard a little bit. Like, I think he's going one way and then he realizes the shot is going the other way, and then it's too late. So it was a good shot, though. It was a good shot. Don't get me wrong. But unfortunately, yeah, that I mean, we like, it's so typical with Indonesia. We are unable to hold on to leads. It's just like you score the goal, and literally like 5 minutes later you concede, and it's back to square one again. Very disappointing. But okay, at least that was, kind of a goal from open play. But after that, that's when the shit show really started. So there's a cross that comes in from the side, and there's one Saudi player in the box, and there's two defenders on him, plus the keeper, obviously. As far as I remember, like watching like from different angles, uh, there's no way that ball actually reaches the attacker. So, I mean, look, you have to like kind of shepherd him out of the game, right? You have to let the ball go out of play. Or if you're really not sure, then just clear the ball to into a corner, like if you really have to do that. But unfortunately, Sayuri decides absolutely idiotically and moronically to pull the shirt of the Saudi player, who, of course, falls down to the ground, starts to he. I mean, look, Saudi played dirty. Okay, you have to like let's talk about the elephant in the room here. They played dirty, but that was to be expected. Look, they had a disappointing series of results against Indonesia, so it was expected that they want to get some kind of revenge in this game, and they did everything they could to do that. Wasting time, uh, kind of like faking fouls to get more time again, or to get some kind of free kicks. They had a lot of fouls yesterday, which were not fouls. But to be fair, though, I thought overall the refereeing was okay. It was not like over the top, you know. So yeah. Anyway, penalty is awarded, and the momentum shifts because of this idiotic mistake. Absolutely unnecessary to pull shirts. I mean, come on, guys. If you do these kind of mistakes, this is why you're not going to the World Cup. It's just as simple as that. You just have to be honest about that. If you make this kind of amateur level mistakes, you're not going to the World Cup. That's the difference between like the teams that do go and the teams that don't go. So then there was like a third goal. I'm trying to actually remember how it unfolded. I think oh yeah. So the defense was kind of asleep once again. There's a good shot that comes in from the right side. Pace gets a hand to it. Unfortunately, it was not enough, and there was a Saudi player kind of waiting for the rebound. He still had like it was not like a clear, like it was not like an easy chance, but it was relatively easy. And then it's 3-1, and then you're really up against it. Um, I think after that, I just didn't see much from the team, to be honest. Like they didn't it didn't look like a team who was fighting to qualify for a major tournament. They look, they tried. They some of them anyway, some of them tried, not many. They tried, but it was just not sufficient. Romani came on in the 65th minute, and like I said, he was probably like half fit. This is probably the best you can describe it him as. He started off moving like really, really slowly, and I was like really worried. But then he got a bit better, and he actually had a couple of chances. One was a header, which was a clear header, but unfortunately, you know, he just got into the game, and obviously he didn't play for a couple of months, so you can kind of excuse his lack of sharpness, let's say. It was like it was a good chance, but it's not easy. And yeah, it was just over the bar. Then he had another good chance actually, which came from the side. I forgot like who crossed it in, but it was a pretty good cross. And unfortunately, yeah, he just couldn't really direct the ball. He just it went straight at the keeper, and you know, no problem. But yeah, it was a good chance though. I mean, if that goes in, it would be like a different ending, I'm sure. But unfortunately, it was not to be. And then yeah, so in the end, again, like thanks to Romney, we get another penalty, which was again a bit lucky. I mean, yeah, technically it's a penalty, I guess, but it's one of those kind of 50-50s. Like I'm sure like maybe another day it's not given. But okay, look, we get the penalty, and Dix scores again. It's 3-2, and you know, you get like it's still 5 minutes to go. plus extra time, right? In extra time, you had one Saudi player, Kano, who just came on, and he started to waste time. He got booked for that, and then he started bitching and whining about it. So he got an immediate red card for that. Uh, well, obviously, from a Saudi perspective, if you're a Saudi supporter, I'm sure you were pretty pissed off about that. But yeah, it was an absolute red. This is absolute stupidity. You should never do that. I mean, look, if you get booked for time wasting, just get the yellow and move on. You should not like stomp the ground and start to, I don't know what he said to the ref, but just don't do that. I mean, what are you doing? It's like, and then he was like so surprised that he got the red card. And it's like, bro, come on. Like, what are you doing? It's just ridiculous. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the match. But I was very disappointed by the performances of many of the players, I should say, actually. So let's go through the team, and I will go one by one and give my ratings. So let me just open it up here so I can see the right lineup. There we go. So let's start from the keeper, Martin Pace. I'm actually going to give him a 9 out of 10. I know that, look, we lost the game and, he conceded 3 goals, although one of them was a penalty, so you can't really blame him too much. He actually got close to it as well. He actually touches it, I think. It kind of bounces off him, unfortunately, but even that he was able to reach somehow. But yeah, look, guys, if it's not from him, if it's not for him, I should say, we lose that game like by 6 or 7, easy. He made a series of crucial saves that kept us in the game. And again, if it was not for this man, we would have lost by a lot more, a lot more. So yeah, but unfortunately, he was the only kind of shining light in the team. And when that's your keeper, it's very worrisome. Next one, let's go to Jakob Sayuri. So like I said, guys, I'm gonna be extremely, extremely harsh in my ratings because there's no point to fuck around. Like, yeah, you can be nice and kind, but there's really no point when, some players just really, really struggled. I'm gonna give him a 1 out of 10. I know it's very harsh, guys. I know. But I warned you. Uh, he got completely cooked on the right side many, many times. It seemed like the Saudi players just got past him every single time almost. I know that in the second half, he made like one key interception. So technically, I could have given him a 2 just for that. However, he was just awful. And he was just completely cooked on the right side, like every single time. Completely beaten, and obviously he gave away that idiotic penalty which shifted the momentum of the game. So I know that obviously he's not the only culprit, but he's a pretty big one in my book. So yeah, just a disaster show. And this never happens if Verdonk plays. Never, ever, ever. Yeah, it's just the reality, guys. It's just the reality. That's how it goes. Next one, Kevin Dix. I'm gonna give him like a probably like a 4 out of 10. Obviously, look, he gets the both penalties, good penalties, and at least that keeps us in the game. However, I thought that in the game he made a lot of kind of unnecessary fouls. He was really making a lot of fouls, actually. Um, I think he got booked, maybe, or no, no, he didn't. But that's a miracle. Actually, I don't know how he got away without a yellow in the entire 90 minutes. Yeah, a lot of fouls, and what it does is that it stops the game and it gives the ball away to Saudi Arabia. And in some cases, it's in dangerous positions, which if it's like a better team, they probably take more advantage from those situations. So you have to watch out, basically. He has to watch out. He has to like control his temperament. I know it's Saudi. I know they play dirty, and it's irritating, it's frustrating, it gets on your nerves, it gets under your skin. I get all of that. However, you're a professional, you have to like control yourself. and I feel like at times he's just way too rash. Uh, but he was definitely not the worst of the bunch, so that's why I give him a 4. Next is gonna be Jay Idzes. I'm gonna give him a like probably like a 3 out of 10. I think again, like in defense, he was completely cooked many times. I know he's also like he's just slow. That's just the reality of Idzes. Unfortunately, he's tall, yeah, and he's aerially he's pretty good generally. However, he's just very slow. So basically, what happens is that if you get a runner behind him, he's so slow to react. It's like he's moving in slow motion almost. There's no way he's gonna catch up to a fast attacker. Yeah. So not great. Didn't do anything really going forward. As far as I'm aware, he was not a big threat through on corners either. So yeah, it was just kind of a poor day at the office. And finally, in the starting lineup, in the back line, we got Dean James. I'm gonna give him probably like a 4 out of 10. I think he especially in the first half, he tried to do something. At least he tried. But unfortunately, in the second half, he faded really badly and just kind of vanished out of the game. In fact, he was substituted in the 76th. But yeah, he in the second half he didn't do very much. In the first half, he tried to do something. He tried to, get down the byline, and I think he tried a couple of crosses, but in the second half, just completely vanished out of the game. Unfortunately. Next one is Jonathan's. I'm pretty sure this is the first rating I ever give him. I'm gonna also give him a 4 out of 10. Again, he tried. He tried a couple of times to do something. Um, it was just not like the quality was just not there. Like kind of the end bowl, the end product was not there most of the time. I know that like probably like once he got it through, but again, like he tried, but it was just not enough, unfortunately. Next one, Clock. This is also, I'm pretty sure, the first rating I give to him. I'm gonna give him like a 3 out of 10. Look, he was there, but he didn't really do a lot, to be honest. Just I don't know. He got booked as well, like at the end of the first half. But yeah, he really didn't do a lot. He was just there, but that's all you can say about him. Next one is Pelupesi. I'm gonna give him a 2 out of 10 because I really don't remember a single thing he did. Like again, he was on the pitch, yes, but I don't remember anything he did. And I think he did even less than Clock, to be honest. So then I have to rate him less. It's just obvious. And finally, I think, oh yeah, so that was Beckham on the other wing. Uh, I'm gonna give him a 1 out of 10 because I literally cannot remember a single thing he did. Like nothing, nothing at all. I'm sure maybe like you can find like one thing he did in the 45 minutes that he was on the pitch, but that was it probably. That was the summary of his match, which is not a lot. So I I have to give him the worst possible rating. Ricky Kambuaya, 1 out of 10. I don't remember a single thing he did. He played like well in some of the other games, but in this game he was just completely anonymous. Uh, I don't remember a single thing he did. The only times I saw him was sometimes in the replays when they showed some kind of replay and he was just like in the background somewhere. That's it. That was his contribution for the match. Like he was on the pitch somewhere usually, but he didn't do anything at all. Like nothing. So yeah. And finally Ragnar, I'm gonna give him again a 1 out of 10. Complete shit show of a performance. When I was watching the first half, especially, and the guy was moving so slowly, so slowly. Look, if he's injured or something, why is he starting the game? Why are we not putting people who are fit and ready to go instead of these kind of like people who are half injured or something like that. But he looked like completely off the pace, and he was in fact taken off, I believe, in the 65th. Yeah, completely anonymous, didn't do anything. Uh, yeah, just a complete disaster. Complete disaster. So as you can see, that's why we lost the game. That's because a lot of our players got these kind of ratings. So let's go to the substitutes. The first one to come on was Elian Reindeers. Well, obviously, unfortunately, he's not Tijani. If we only got Tijani to play for us, unfortunately, we got his brother, and his brother is nowhere good as him. So yeah, um, I don't remember like that much that he did. To be honest, he gave away a lot of fouls, and he was not really effective going forward. So I'm gonna give him like a 2 out of 10 because yeah, I think like he really didn't do what was required on the wing. He didn't, try to take on his man very often. He played very safe, and we needed somebody to kind of go for it, and he was just not that guy. So yeah, Tom Haye came on for Jonathan's in the 65th. Um, he had a good free kick actually, but that was it, I think. I'm gonna give him like a 3 out of 10 because he did better than Pelupesi, but again, like it was just not what was needed, like we needed more, unfortunately, and he was just unable to do it. Although the free kick was nice, uh, but if you watch the replay, especially from the angle, kind of from behind him, the ball was actually going wide. Okay. So yeah, it was a good free kick, but technically it was going wide. I know the keeper makes a save just in case, but the ball was going wide. Next, Oli Romani. I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10 because actually, from everybody that came on, he was the only one that actually made a difference, and he was like half fit. So this is an embarrassment to the other players who were actually fully fit and who didn't put in a shift. Whereas he comes on 25 minutes and he did more than Ragnar did in 65 in this 25-minute cameo. No joke. First of all, there's a corner and he gets a clear header, which, if he was a bit more match fit or he had a bit more sharpness, maybe it's on target and maybe it's a goal. We don't know. But that was a good chance, though. And, we needed like somebody to create chances. We were crying out for that. Then he had a good chance, like I said, like there's I forgot like who did the cross, but there's a cross that comes in from the right side, and he gets to the ball, but unfortunately, like he shoots right at the keeper, and the shot was not like that strong anyway. But again, like at least it was a chance. At least he was trying to do something. And finally, he gets a through ball. I forgot like who plays it. Was it Clark or was it Haye? I can't remember. Uh, and the Saudi player actually heads the ball out, but it was very clumsy, and the ball ends up hitting his hand, and it's a penalty, which Dick scores from. But that was all caused by Romani causing trouble. Like, so that's why I gave him a pretty high grade. It would be higher if he scored, obviously, but it was not to be, unfortunately. But still, good effort, definitely. He tried very hard to change the game. Jens Sayuri and Sandy Walsh came on, but to be honest with you, I'm not gonna give them a rating because I don't think. Well, Walsh only came on for 5 minutes, so I don't rate players that play less than 10. Sayuri played 15, but I just don't remember anything at all that he did, and I don't think it's worth really rating. So yeah, um, it's kind of interesting that we're chasing the game, and Clivert chooses to bring Sandy Walsh on. Sandy Walsh is primarily a defender, so why are we bringing him on? Like, what's the rationale there? What's the strategy? So I know that on the bench we don't have a lot. I know that we had two keepers. Obviously, you don't want to bring a keeper. I get that. However, you also had Risky Rido and Justin Hubner on the bench. I don't know why they were on the bench. They're some of our best defenders. So, were they injured as well? Did they have some kind of problem? Probably, because otherwise they would be starting. Uh, it just makes no sense. And also, yeah, so why he brings Walsh on when we got Mauro, what's his name? Mauro Zilstra on the bench, who is an attacker. I don't know much about the guy, but he's an attacker. So if you're chasing the game, you don't bring on a defender. That's even like a non-coach would tell you that. So I don't understand why. I know obviously Walsh has some experience. Sure, you can say that, but he is not what you want when you're chasing a game. So why not give this Mauro guy a chance? Why not? You're chasing the game. You need goals. You need somebody up front to do something. So I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Yeah. So guys, this is it for the player ratings. Like I said, the score itself is close. If you haven't watched the game, like I said, you're gonna think like, oh, 3-2. We were very, very close. However, in the game itself, we were completely out of it for large chunks. And again, if it was not for the keeper, we would have lost this game by like 5, 6, 7 easy. So yeah, I don't know what more to say, guys. But anyway, it's not quite over yet. However, obviously now the chances are not great. I kind of wish that like Iraq and Saudi Arabia played first, because then you have like a better image of what you have to do. If you play first, and especially then if you lose, that really puts you under a lot of pressure. So there's a game against Iraq coming up in a couple of days. To be honest, like Iraq is very similar to Saudi Arabia. Again, kind of like a strong physical team. They're just I like I always thought like Iraq is very similar to Saudi Arabia. They're like almost the same, but just a bit worse. Uh, but again, it could be just too much for Indonesia. And again, it's an away game. We're not good away. We're just not good. Unfortunately, again, that's kind of a difference between top teams and teams who are below like 100 in the FIFA rankings. You have to play well both home and away. That's how you build consistency, and that's how you become like actually a good team. If you just rely on playing in Jakarta at the Gelora Bung Karno, and yeah, you can get points there, but if you don't get points anywhere else, that's just not good enough. That's just a fact, guys. I know that I was pretty harsh in this video. I get it. I know that some people might be offended, etc. But we just have to face the reality. We're just not good enough. We're not that far off. It's true, in some aspects, but the reality is, yeah, we play like a team that's unfortunately, ranked 119th in the world. That's just a fact. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll be back after the Iraq game for another review and commentary show. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day. And yeah, look, it's just a game. So tough luck. Try to improve for the next time. And yeah, hope it goes better. All right, guys, peace.